So today is Monday, November 21st. I just found out that not only am I a close contact of someone who's positive for COVID, but the government is supposed to be coming to take me to some facility somewhere. Yay. My community just came and dropped off 2 testing kits to me. I need to test myself to see if I'm positive or not. Who knows? Maybe I have it too. So let's find out. This is the kit that they gave me, and these are the instructions on the back, which I don't completely understand, but I translated it. And basically, there's a Q-tip in here that I'm gonna shove up my nose, and I'm gonna stick the same Q-tip in both sides, which sounds delightful. And then I'm gonna stick it in here. It needs to soak in some solution. And then I'm gonna pour the solution on a testing strip and wait 15 minutes to see if I'm dying or not. I feel like I'm not really like a good candidate for this kind of stuff because I get really anxious that I'm gonna screw it up, especially when it's in a completely different language from the one that I normally speak. But here goes. So I'm gonna stick this up my nose now. Probably won't love it. That was fun. And I'm gonna stick it in here. And it says to snap it. It won't snap. It's like, yeah, just snap it off. Oh, it snapped. So now I can close it. Either I'm weak or the instructions made that seem a lot easier than it actually is. Okay, it needs to be fully submerged, so I'm supposed to squeeze. I think it's supposed to be in here for 30 seconds. Oh, the government's calling me. So they just told me that they're coming to get me in 30 minutes. So now I'm gonna drop 4 drops of this on the little testing strip, and now I have to wait 15 minutes, which is almost all the time that I have to get ready to leave. So I'll let you know when I know. According to the box, I'm negative. I'm documenting this because I know it's gonna be hilarious. For example, the car is supposed to come get me in like 30 minutes, and my community is messaging me to tell me to take the cat with me to quarantine. And I was like, no. Like, if I do that, I'm gonna have to pack his food, I'm gonna have to pack cat litter, I'm gonna have to pack a pan for him to go to the bathroom in. I don't have time for all that. The car's on its way, and I already have 2 suitcases and a backpack full of books that I'm taking with me because I still have to teach when I'm in quarantine. So now we're trying to figure out like if I can leave the cat here. It's not an ideal situation either way, but they told us it's only supposed to be 3 days in quarantine. So it's not ideal, but I left a giant pan of food and water out. He has clean litter. It's not gonna be that clean when I get back home, but it's a much better option than packing up a cat and taking him to the quarantine hotel. The quarantine hotel situation is kind of like a Forrest Gump situation where you just never know what you're gonna get. I'm trying to prepare the best that I can for it. I'm bringing a towel, I'm bringing a blanket, I'm bringing a sheet, I'm bringing my own pillow. I brought flip-flops so I don't have to walk in any like mysterious filth. But like bringing a cat into that situation is not gonna help. So I have to go check and see what they said. I just got the call that my car is here, so I'm about to head out. It's kind of sad because the last time I walked out with all these suitcases, I was going on a vacation to Qingdao, and this time I'm going to a quarantine hotel. Bye, Nangua. Don't die. Okay, so after I got the call, I walked to the front gate of my community and got on the bus. And the bus took us to, it's actually like a pretty close by hotel that I think I've eaten dinner here before. There's like a really nice Japanese restaurant on the 2nd floor. Obviously, I won't be doing that here this time, but when we got to the hotel, we had to like go behind the hotel through the like quarantine entrance and register, which was fun because they were like, a foreigner, what's your name? And I was like, Brian. And they were like, what's your name? And then it just went back and forth. And they were like, what's your Chinese name? I'm like, girl, you're not gonna find any like official government record of me with a Chinese name. Like, come on. Then they gave me a bag of, I think tests to do, more home tests, but they said they were voluntary. So I'm not really sure how that makes any sense. I'm assuming that while I'm here for the next couple days, they're gonna be coming to test me probably many times. But the entrance to the hotel is only for quarantine. So everything is like covered in plastic. You don't see another living soul. When you get off the elevator, which is also covered in plastic, you're in this like very desolate hallway. My room is at the very end, which I think a lot of Chinese people think that the hotel room at the end is like where the spirits go, or like it's haunted or something. Like I have friends that will not stay at the hotel at the end. So that's where I am. I'm not really that superstitious about stuff like that though, so it's fine. The hotel is fine. It's nice. You know, I did my little walkthrough. Home sweet home. It's actually not that bad because it's a real hotel. They're just blocking part of it out for quarantine. It's a lot better than it could be. It doesn't smell very good. It smells like a wet basement, so that's probably not gonna help anything. Let's check out the view over here. Wow, not that bad. Look at that. So they left me a lot of water, which is good. There's 2 bottles here. There is a giant case of water on the floor. I brought some instant coffee with me, and there is a kettle. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a massive caffeine headache. The bed, let me just see here. Oh yeah, that's nice. The bed is nice. There's 2 pillows. There's a whole extra naked bed over here. I think it's hilarious that there's an advertisement for Universal Studios here because obviously I ain't going anywhere. The smell is really not cute or fresh at all. I don't know what's going on. That kind of makes me a little bit nervous because it smells like mold, but hopefully it's not black mold. Speaking of mold, let's check out the bathroom. All right, let's see what we have going on in here, and also how clean is it? Lots of body wash and soap and shampoo, a lot of toilet paper, a lot of sketchy, dingy brown stains. Okay, I'm almost afraid to turn around and look at the shower situation. A little crusty, kind of black. There's like a mysterious blood stain, rust, doo-doo. I really don't know. Love that. Are these like someone's ashes? Hello, Grandpa, is that you? But now it's kind of setting in that I'm gonna be here for the next 3 days. Okay, so it's 12:30 now and I'm starving, and hopefully they're gonna feed us soon because obviously I can't leave to get food. Actually, let me show you guys what happens every time I open the door here. Someone was talking to us through the intercom, which is so weird because I was like, God, is that you? I thought maybe they were telling us that the food is here because I honestly couldn't understand any sound that was coming out. So I opened the door to get my food, but I forgot that every time I open the door, this happens. Love that. And yeah, there's definitely not any food out there. When I got the announcement this morning that they were coming to take me away, hee hee haha, I didn't like make real breakfast because I had no idea how soon it was gonna be. So I ate cornflakes and I had a cup of coffee. That's gone. Like, it's time for some food. I'm a little afraid of what the food is actually gonna be. When I was in quarantine in Shanghai, it wasn't cute, so it could be terrible, but I need to eat something. I'll check in with you guys when food comes. Okay, the moment that we've all been waiting for is finally here. Someone has knocked on the door to tell me my food has arrived. Oh my God. Okay, let's see what we have here. We have an apple. We have some rice with that. We have some watery soup. No, thank you. Ah, the piece de resistance. It is. Ooh, okay. It's like curry chicken or chicken with radishes. It smells kind of good, actually. There's a piece of fish, there's potato, and some green vegetables. That is not bad. Okay, let's try a little of this chicken here. It's not great, but my mantra for this whole experience is that it could be worse. It could always be worse. Let's try the potatoes next. Not bad. I'm not really a seafood person, so I'm gonna try the vegetables. Also pretty good, to be honest. The fish. The problem with this fish, yeah, I can already see it now, is that there's like 9,000 tiny razor sharp bones inside. So I don't really like to eat this because I don't like to be stabbed in the mouth, and I also don't like seafood, so it's like extra not worth it. Let me try like, even this little chunk, there's a tiny little bone in it that I can see. It's not bad if you like the feeling of there being like a hair in your mouth that you just can't get. I finished eating, so there's probably not a whole lot to update you guys on unless I get another mysterious knock at the door for like a COVID test or some phone call or message from God through the intercom system that tells me I need to do something. So I guess I'm just gonna wait until dinner time. I don't really have anything to do because I ate, and I'm wondering if my cat is alive, which I know he is because I've only been gone for like 3 hours. Also, I just had a thought. Obviously like 3 days in a hotel with 3 meals a day included and COVID testing costs money, but like, I don't know if I'm responsible for paying for this or if the government pays for it because it's their policy that's causing this to happen in the first place. But at some point, I might get a bill for this? So I just woke up from a nap, and apparently it's dinner time. It's about 6 o'clock, I think, and I just grabbed my food. It was really hard to sleep. There's like this constant sound here of like rushing air. It's not coming through the vent. I don't know where it's coming from, but I just hear like air, and I feel air, and it's freezing in here, and people keep opening their doors. So the whole time I was trying to sleep, all I could hear was the alarms going off. And then at one point they were talking to me through the intercom thing, but I have no idea what they were saying. And now the food is here, so let's see what we have. So there's some more soup here that I'm definitely not gonna eat. I just really don't like soup. There are these cucumbers and black fungus. That looks pretty good, I like that. And to be honest, this is one of my favorite dishes in China. It's like fried dough, I think, like fried noodle basically. It's called rou chao bing, and I love this, so hopefully it's good. Yeah, it's pretty good to be honest. And the cucumbers smell so good. They're marinated with like vinegar. Also pretty good. I'm not sure what's going on with the fungus. Yeah, it's all pretty good to be honest. And there's a banana here, so I don't hate it. So I'm noticing some problems as I walk around the hotel. First of all, I just washed like 1,000 years of coffee stains out of this cup so that I can drink something with caffeine in it, because I feel like I'm dying a little bit. Yes, it's like 7 o'clock at night, but that's besides the point. But like I could see like the brown mouth stain where like people have been putting the cup to their mouth every day since like 1975. I mean, look at the carpet here. There's no way that this cup hasn't been used for like 100 years. And then also in the bathroom, I went to pull a tissue out of the dispenser here, and this whole faceplate just fell off and crashed to the floor and almost broke my toe. So I'm gonna be using these from now on instead. Also, it's kind of freezing in here, so I played with the thermostat and tried to get the temperature to go higher, but all I feel is cold air coming out, so I have no idea what that's supposed to do, but it's on the heat setting. Not really sure what's going on. I'm gonna make myself a delicious Nescafe fake coffee with this kettle from the Great Depression. It's also probably super clean. I tried to wash it out, but I don't really have like dish soap with me, so I was using body wash from the shower. Okay, cheers to being trapped in this hotel room for the next 3 days. Oh, that's terrible. I don't usually put sugar in my coffee, but it needs some help. The only problem is that I don't have anything to stir it with, so the sugar's not gonna dissolve anyway. No difference whatsoever. Okay, so it's the next day. That's my breakfast on the table over there. And yeah, I feel like I didn't actually sleep at all. Like I was asleep, but I feel like I didn't sleep at all. I don't know if it's like the strange bed, the strange environment, the pillows. Like I was asleep, I know that I was, but it feels like I didn't sleep at all. And also I realized that exactly 2 years ago, I was also in quarantine, eating quarantine food and sleeping in a strange bed. It's kind of weird how the world works. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this bad Larry open and see what's inside. They have a tea egg here. They have this like albino sausage. That's just a big old hunk of steamed bread. It's called mantou. There's some more porridge here. This is like a red bean, I'm guessing, porridge. This is the meat one or the sweet one? That's the sweet one. It might be red bean inside, I'm not sure. Cabbage and some pickled or fermented vegetables. It just tastes like nothing. I don't know. I'm not in the mood today. What's that song that Sandy sings in SpongeBob when she's like, I wanna go home? That's how I feel right now. So they have these like tea and coffee packets, and they have coffee powder, but they don't have any spoons or anything to stir it with. So I'm gonna use a Q-tip. Don't worry, it's clean. I love a good cotton latte. Am I drinking cotton now? Maybe. Cheers. Oh, it's better than yesterday. The cotton swab really helps. You guys, I went to go put my coffee cup on the table and there was a spoon here from breakfast. I just stirred my coffee with a Q-tip. Just checking in, it's 12:30 now. It's been kind of a busy morning. I have been online the whole day trying to get things figured out for our online classes that we just started this week because COVID canceled school for the whole week. That basically took up all of my time this morning. So my lunch is here now. It's on the table behind me. I'm gonna go ahead and see what I got. All right, so we have some yogurt, which is hot now from my food. We have, oh my God, more soup. I might actually try this one though because it looks like egg and tomato-y, which is, it might be good. Rice, and then, dun, 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 dun. What am I looking at? More chicken. I see some tofu with pork. I see some more green vegetables and some bean sprouts. It doesn't look bad and it doesn't smell bad either. Oh, okay. I know what this dish is. It's like the spicy peppers and pork. Pretty good. Hopefully it doesn't give me any issues. I like spicy. He said as he chokes to death. I like spicy food, but sometimes spicy food doesn't like me back. My friend and I went to Chengdu in Sichuan province, which is famous for spicy food and spicy hot pot and spicy everything. And she doesn't really even eat spicy food, that particular friend, but it's like one of those when you're in Rome, do as the Romans do kind of situations. So we ate this like monstrously spicy hot pot together. And then for like the next 3 days of our trip, we were like tag teaming each other on the way out of the bathroom. So yeah, it was delicious. I loved it. But my body did not. Oh, the chicken, I think it's chicken. It's pretty good, but there's a lot of fat on it. So maybe it's not chicken. Maybe it's like goose. Girl, I don't know. Green vegetables. It tastes like green vegetables. This I'm curious about though. It's actually good. I don't know what's on it, but so far, this has been a much better food experience than when I was in Shanghai. I was in Shanghai for 2 weeks, and I swear like every meal they served was brown. It was just like 2 weeks of brown food, and everything just tasted brown and not flavorful. So if this is only 3 days, and this is like the general quality of the food, I can do this. I can do this. But I still really want to go home, and I miss my cat. Okay, just checking in. It's about 5 o'clock. I got a phone call from the front desk, and they yelled at me for opening the door too many times, but hear me out. When I came into the room, they had like Coffee Mate instant creamer. So I used those 2 packets of Coffee Mate. So I called them and I was like, can you guys give me some of the milk powder? And they're like, okay, well, we'll see if we can do it. And then I heard this noise outside the door. So I opened the door thinking that it was like them delivering it to me, but nothing was there. It's the ghost. Remember I told you guys when you live at the end of the hall, that's the danger zone for the spirit world. And then like a couple minutes later, I had all this trash, so I went to leave the bag of trash outside, and that's when I got the phone call from the front desk who was like, why'd you open the door? Why do you keep opening the door? And I told him like, oh, I asked you guys for this and I thought you were bringing it to me, and then I was throwing some trash out. And he's like, the situation is like this, like you're in quarantine and you're not a guest at the hotel, you're in quarantine, so like we can't bring you anything because those things are for guests. So it's kind of weird that they like left it here to create like the hotel environment, but then they can't be replenished. And I was like, you can't just like leave them outside like everything else. And they were like, no, because you're not a guest. Cool. And then they were like, and you need to stop opening the door. And if you do open the door, you need to put your mask on. And I'm like, okay, but it's an empty hallway. No one's here. And like, if I have trash, I'm going to put it outside the door. That's the protocol. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. Like you can put the trash outside, but you need to wear a mask. I'm like, okay, so don't open the door, but open the door if it's for trash, but wear a mask. I got it. Okay. That's how that went. I had my online classes. I drank a cup of black coffee because I have nothing to put in it. I'm guessing dinner time is coming up soon. I'm not very hungry, but when the dinner comes, I will show you guys the situation there. All right, you guys, it's dinner time. On today's menu, we have a pear, more soup that I'm not gonna eat. Like, what even is that? It just looks like, sorry, that sounds so rude, but it just looks like dirty water. Some cold dishes, I think. Some cold tofu, maybe. More cabbage. Today is like a very cabbage-full day. And then, what? Truthfully, I don't really know what I'm looking at, but it smells pretty good. Oh. So the vegetables on top are eggplant and potato. And to be honest, this is also really good. What the heck is going on? I want to try this cold tofu. Oh, wait. I think it's shredded chicken. Okay. And then this is not cabbage. It's actually like white fungus. Ah. And tofu skin. That's really good too. To be honest, this food might be better than what I'd be eating if I was back home. Is that embarrassing to admit? So there was just a knock at the door and I honestly thought it was time for the COVID test, but they were just putting this flyer out. And basically what it says is that through watching us for 24 hours a day on the security cameras, they found some people who aren't following the rules of quarantine very well. Probably me, because they got mad that I opened the door to look for something that I thought someone was outside my room putting there. So there's this whole announcement like, you need to have your mask on, don't open the door unless it's for food or trash. And I'm not sure if it's trying to say like, this is what will happen or like, this is what already is going to happen. But basically in this flyer, they've threatened to recalculate the time of quarantine from
from the time that you broke the rules. So meaning if it is me, right, and today I got in trouble, then they would like restart the quarantine clock from today and keep me in quarantine even longer. So basically they're turning quarantine into prison for not following the rules of quarantine, which I think is hilarious because like you can't do that. And they also said that like you'll have to pay for it. So I don't know if I'm gonna get out when I thought I'm gonna get out, or if their plan is to try to like imprison me in a hotel for opening the door because I thought someone was at the door.
Okay, so it's the next morning and I'm all suited up to open the door, get deafened, and grab my breakfast. All right, let's see what Santa brought me. Ooh, whoever tied this bag used to be a Boy Scout, apparently. Okay, we have more porridge that I'm not gonna eat. We have some steamed purple bread. We have an egg. We have some baozi, so we don't really know what's inside until we bite in. It's like a mystery. And then there's some lotus root. Why is it purple though? Ooh. I still don't know why it's purple. There's also some corn. I think there's some pickled vegetables here as well. I'm not blown away. Let's see what's inside the baozi. Cabbage, egg and cabbage. They really love cabbage here in the quarantine hotel. It's so cold. Oh, if I was home right now, I could be making French toast, having good coffee, and here I am eating cold baozi and drinking instant coffee. Life is hard, man. Okay, so I'm realizing that this thing here kind of looks like a door, right? So I came over here to open it, and this is what I found in my hotel room. Is there any Turkish delight in here? That is bizarre. Oh, I think that's my bathtub. Nice to know there's an extra towel in here in case I use mine up. I want to go home. Okay, so I just had my second COVID test since coming here. I should be working right now, but it's so hard to work when you're not at work, especially when you're not even at home. I know that like during the pandemic, so much of the workforce had to work from home, and now that people are supposed to be going back to work, a lot of people are like, well, we've already proven that we can do just as much at home, and like we don't want to go back to the office. I don't think I'm one of those people. I think like I need to be at work. I need to be in like a work environment that's separate from my home life. If I'm at home, I'm too tempted to like watch YouTube videos, play with the cat, like play video games. Here, I'm not even at home. I have really nothing to do, and that's really all I feel like doing. I just realized that tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and I'm gonna be in quarantine for Thanksgiving. And 2 years ago, when I came back to China after being stuck in America during the beginning of the pandemic, I also spent Thanksgiving in quarantine. Okay, so I just want to preface this by saying that I am aware that anything that I complain about in this video is really still like a first world problem, because at the end of the day, I am staying in a hotel. I do have a bed to sleep in. There is Wi-Fi. I am getting 3 meals delivered to me a day. And I think that I actually don't need to pay for this myself, as far as what I've been hearing from the people that I asked, and from the announcement that was given to us yesterday that basically threatened us and said that if you don't cooperate, you will have to pay for the whole cost yourself. So I know that I shouldn't complain, but I just want to talk about the shower that I took for a second. First of all, I already showed you guys this. This is the bottom of my tub. These like no slip treads are black, and there is a strange, what I think is a rust stain. Let's just call it rust. It didn't wash off, so it's probably not blood. I have a couple of coworkers who are also in quarantine at the same hotel, and 2 of those coworkers told me how happy they were to be able to take a bath. Honey, why? Why would you do that? But anyway, I just want to show you what happens when you try to change the water over from the tub to the shower. It still pours out of here at the same time, and then the whole tub starts to fill up with water. So even with my flip-flops on, I was basically standing in my own water the whole time, which didn't really help. It's not a huge deal, obviously. It's just something that kind of like grosses me out because of how it looks on the bottom. Like the thought of standing in that water kind of gives me the heebies a little bit. Also, some good news. I just got a phone call and they said that when my COVID test from today comes back, as long as I'm not sick, I can go home, where I still need to quarantine at home for 3 more days. It's not like, you know, you're free to go. They're gonna pick me up on the COVID bus and drive me back to my house, and then like I can't use the elevator, I can't leave my house, I can't pick up packages. Things can come to me if they come to my door, which like I really need to order groceries. I haven't been home for 3 days, but like I'm free to go as long as everything is okay. So
I'm praying that things are good. I feel fine, but who knows? But hopefully soon I can go home. All right, it's a little after 12 o'clock and I'm about to eat what could be my last meal in quarantine. Oh my God, they gave me soda. I don't really eat a lot of sugar because it's not good for me, but like occasionally you need like a little something. I don't love orange soda. Sorry, Kel. So again, there's rice, there's some seaweed soup, no gracias. We have some vegetables with what I'm assuming is pork. We have some more vegetables. We have some more vegetables. It's a cabbage again. And here is some meat and potatoes. I don't know if it's beef or pork, but time will tell. All right, let's try the food. Oh my God. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's so squeaky. It feels like I'm chewing on a balloon and it's giving me like, it's giving me nails on a chalkboard vibes. Can you hear like the rubber? It's very squeaky. This is the cabbage. There's some like jelly noodle. Ooh, I don't like the smell. I'm gonna swallow it because it's already in my mouth and it's mostly made of jelly, but that is a no. Woo! These are fine, they're cold, they're soggy, but they often are. Let me see what kind of meat this is. I think it's pork, it's good. Potatoes are fine. This is not the best that they've brought me. For some reason, it's taking a really long time for the COVID test results to come back. I keep checking, like every 2 minutes I've been checking because I'm like, get me out of here, get me out of here, get me out of here. And they keep calling me, hey, where are your results? And I'm like, I still don't have them. I'm messaging my other coworkers who are also here in quarantine in other rooms and they're saying, no, I haven't received any results back. I don't know why it's taking so long. They tested us way earlier this morning and it usually takes like just a couple hours to get results back. I don't know if I'm gonna get to go home tonight, but even if I do get to go home tonight, I received a message from my building community that the community is being locked down because of the pandemic. And basically, I can go in, but I cannot come out. That's problematic for a couple of reasons. The biggest is that I don't really have any food at home and nobody can come into the community because then they can't leave. So that means that like any delivery workers from the convenience store, the grocery store, the food apps, they can't come into the community because then they can't come out. I don't know if like things can be dropped at the gate and we can like try to come out to get them. I need to go home because my cat is at home, but I don't really know what to do about the food situation for me because I don't really have food at home. So that's a problem. I was hoping that my lunch today would be the last supper, the last meal while in quarantine. Unfortunately, I'm still here. So there's definitely another quarantine dinner in my future, my immediate right now future. Let's see what's in the bag. Without me even having to tell you, look, it's fucking soup. There's some fried rice here that actually looks pretty good. I see cucumbers, I see ham, I see egg. There's an orange here. It's very soft. Like extremely soft. There's some vegetables here, and to be honest, I don't know. I just see bones, but there's something on a bone. The prominence of bones versus the lack of meat almost looks like someone was like, let me give him a little bit, and like gave me the rest. Let me try these vegetables first. I don't really know. Spinach? I don't know. That's fine. Okay, meat situation. I think it's duck. I really don't know. Sometimes the way that things are cooked, I'm like, this could be any animal in my mouth, and it all just kind of tastes the same after a while. There's a lot of interesting body parts in here. Maybe not a duck. What part of the duck would this be? I don't really know. Let me try some rice. The rice is very good, but you know it would be even better than this rice? Being home in my own fucking house. 7:45, still no COVID test results. 8:30, still no test results. 9:20, still no COVID test results. Well, it's 10:30 at night. The COVID test results never came back. We got tested 12 and a half hours ago. It feels very America. I remember when I was coming back to China after being stuck in America, my first flight that I was able to secure, I had to cancel it at the last minute because the test results were so slow in America at that time that they did not come back in time for my flight. And this is giving me that same like feeling like I'm racing against the clock to get out of here before it's officially too late. Who knows? It's 10:30 right now. If the results come back at midnight, I could get a phone call telling me to get on the COVID bus back to my community. Who knows? The phone is ringing. So I'm confused. The phone call just told me to pack my things and get ready for another phone call. And when I get that phone call, I can go downstairs and they're gonna take me back to my community. But The problem is that I still don't have any test results back from today's test. So, what was I waiting for? What was I waiting for? Do you know? Because I don't know. And like, I'm glad that I get to go home. I'm not complaining, you know, that's great. That's what I was waiting for. But now it's 10:30 at night, and apparently the thing that I was waiting for doesn't matter anymore. It just feels a little bit frustrating that I waited for something that doesn't matter. And it starts to feel a little bit more like Whose Line Is It Anyway, where like the games are made up and the points don't matter. But great, perfect. I'm gonna pack up and get ready to go downstairs. Okay, I'm all packed up and ready to go. I put on their government sanctioned mask so that they don't try to Shawshank Redemption me and throw me in solitary for another month to think it over. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do when I get downstairs, because the guy was like, when you get downstairs, there's a bus, don't get on it. And then I was like, okay, so how am I getting home? And then he's like, there's another bus. So I have no idea what's happening. Hopefully it'll be a lot more clearer when I get downstairs. Bye, Grandpa, be good, love you. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling like that right about now. So I'm outside waiting for my COVID bus, but it's kind of embarrassing because if there's a lot of people that are getting transported, I have so much stuff with me and I don't know where I'm gonna put it. I just got to my building and I went to push the button for the elevator, and then I remembered that they told me not to use the elevator. And I live on the 9th floor, and I have 2 giant suitcases and a backpack full of textbooks with me. So now I'm walking up to the 9th floor, and one of the handles to my suitcases just broke. So it's going really good so far since being back, and I still have 5 more floors to go. I made it. Nangwa! Meow. Ew. Ew. Okay, so it's the next day, which means it's also the next phase of this whole quarantine drama. Yes, there's definitely still pumpkins on my table from Halloween that I was supposed to carve. Definitely didn't have time for that. I need to stay at home for 3 days. 2 out of 3 of those days, a nurse from a local hospital is gonna come to my home to test me. The new problem is the problem that I was trying to explain yesterday, which is that like, I can't go anywhere. Whatever I need in my life needs to be able to come to me, which is usually fine because there's so many apps for delivery in China. But because everyone is in quarantine and because all the communities in the area are locking down, no one's going to work, no one's going to school, restaurants are closed, people need to cook, which means people also need to order massive amounts of groceries. There are no apps that will deliver to me today. I've tried every grocery store I can think of. I was able to order some stuff that will come tomorrow, but like none of the big stores are delivering anything today. They're all sold out. There's not enough delivery drivers. There's too many orders. That's the situation that I'm dealing with right now. There's a sensor on my door so that every time I open my door, an alarm doesn't go off, but there's some sort of like notification that gets sent to the people who are essentially babysitting me. I'm gonna open the door and I'll show you what it looks like. So there's the sensor. I just opened the door for no reason and I'm probably gonna get a phone call like, why did you open the door? Okay, so it's the next day and I have some groceries finally. It's been an extremely stressful morning. By the way, there's really no reason why I just like gave up on shaving my face. I think at this point I'm basically just like protesting being alive. Earlier this morning, my groceries that I ordered 2 days ago were finally about to be delivered. And the guy calls me and he says, hey, I'm at the gate of your community, but I can't come into the community. And I was like, okay, well, I'm in quarantine and I can't come out of the community. So what am I supposed to do? And it was very stressful trying to coordinate like where he was going to leave these things and who was going to bring them to me. Basically, he had to leave my stuff with the security guard outside, and then the lady that kind of like manages the building had to deliver it to me. The new problem that presents is that someone needs to come to my house to test me for COVID. And those negative results are what is going to get me out of quarantine. Not that I have anywhere to go anymore, but allegedly, if I'm free to leave my apartment, I can go to the front gate and get my own stuff from the box that they set up outside for the delivery drivers to dump stuff off. If that person can no longer come into the community to test me and I can't go outside to get tested somewhere else, I'm not sure when exactly I would be released officially from quarantine. So that's the next thing that I have to figure out now. I have been trying to play the new Pokemon game since the 18th when it came out. I could have downloaded it. I could be playing it right now. But I have this thing with Pokemon games specifically. I like to collect the actual physical game. I like to keep the boxes. I like to have the artwork. None of the stores had it on the 18th. None of the stores had it on the 19th. None of the stores had it on the 20th. Then I got quarantined. Now it's the day after Thanksgiving. At some point, my friend and I gave up and we decided to just order it to be sent to us online. It was supposed to arrive yesterday, but the shipping company made a mistake with our address and they weren't able to deliver it yesterday. So I called them today, gave them the new address. They wrote the wrong address, delivered it to someone else's house. My friend got the notification that they delivered it to someone else's house. I had to call them back and tell them that they misunderstood what I was telling them earlier and they put it in the wrong place. And so now they're supposed to be bringing it today, but they can't actually come into the community today. So it's been like this whole ordeal of me trying to play a video game that looks pretty terribly made and isn't getting the best reviews online. So it's like I'm waiting and waiting and waiting for something that might actually be a shitty experience. They're supposed to bring it today. If we get notification that it's here, then I need to message the building again and be like, hey, can you bring me my Pokemon game? Hey guys, I just wanted to check in with you since I didn't talk to you much after my last check-in. My Pokemon game is still MIA, but of course that's besides the point of what's really going on. The food situation is still definitely sketchy here. I didn't try to order anything because I can't leave my apartment to get it, but I did kind of just do a little test when I woke up this morning and all the food apps are completely sold out of time slots for today. It's still really difficult to get food right now. It's kind of funny because like, I think at this point, 3 years later, people are actually a lot more afraid of the lockdown and the quarantine than they are of the actual virus. The problem is that when it comes, you never really know when it's going to come and you never know how long it's going to last. Every time you hear a rumor that it's going to happen, people run to the grocery store. It's happened to me twice so far where I've run to the grocery store and waited in a huge line to get in, and then you get inside and there's almost nothing left because people heard a rumor that there's going to be a lockdown and we're not going to be able to go anywhere. I did add a bunch of stuff to my cart on a couple different apps, and I'm going to check to see if after midnight I can get an order. Someone's supposed to come to my house to test me today, and when I get those results back, I'm free to go. I'll let you know when that happens, I guess. And yeah, that's it. I just got a knock on the door, so I'm assuming it's the COVID test people. All right, I'm all swabbed and ready for action. Now I just need to wait until the results come back, and then tomorrow I can go out into the community and show all the grandmas everything they've been missing for the past 7 days. Well, you guys, this is it. My first steps out of my apartment. I guess I can rip this off the door, right? It's not going to be a very exciting trip. I'm going to throw away way too much trash, get tested, and I think my Pokemon game is here. They're only doing testing until 11, and I can almost guarantee that the line is going to be from here to Cucamonga because it's like 10:30 and I waited till the last minute. But I really just didn't want this to be the first thing I do when I leave my house. It's literally all the way back to the entrance of the community. I'm gonna get my package first because I'm just not mentally prepared for this yet. It's so sad that like this is my first day out of the house and I already can't wait to go back inside. So basically I'm locked in the community. All the packages are on the ground. They can't find my package. Okay. I love the taste of a good Q-tip in the morning. Maybe that's why I stirred my coffee with a Q-tip the other day. It was like second nature at this point to have the taste of cotton in my mouth. Nango, I'm home. It's terrible out there. Don't ever go outside. I'm just gonna push it out of the side. Oh. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's the Japanese one. We didn't know which copies we were gonna get. Thank God. Finally, the wait is over. There's really no grand conclusion to the end of this video. Yeah, my new Pokemon game came. That's great. Yes, I've officially been released from quarantine. But because my community is locked down, there's nowhere for me to go. I'm still getting tested basically every day. It's still difficult to get groceries delivered. It's still complicated trying to pick up packages. And the worst part is that even if my community wasn't locked and I could just come and go as I please, there's a good chance that by going to some other place, I could be become a close contact again, and then the whole process of quarantine just basically begins all over again. And it's frustrating because I have all these Chinese friends who will say things to me like, well, you know, at least you can go home if you want to. And it's just not that simple. This is my home now. And for the most part, I love it here. I love it so much that I came here for a year just to try it out and ended up staying for 5. And sure, I have my family and friends back home, but I also have my friends here. I have relationships here. I have my job here, my cat here, my apartment. Basically everything that I own of value that I use day in and day out is here. This is my home. I don't want to go back to America. What I want is for China to start feeling a little bit more like how it felt when I first came here in 2016. I want to see steps being taken to open up and for China to become a place that people want to come to again. I want to see a clear end goal laid out with a realistic timetable and steps being taken to a better future that are rooted in real testable science. Like the flu, COVID isn't going anywhere. If we're not making any steps towards managing living with the virus, then we're basically setting ourselves up to live the way that we're living now forever. And life is just too short for that. If you like this video and you want to keep up with my updates about life in China, please remember to click that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell so that you get notified when I upload a new video here on this channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. You know what sucks when you finally get groceries to come and you ordered a big bottle of water because you can't really drink the sink water here. And instead of a giant delicious bottle of water, they send you a box of milk that you don't drink. Cool.